Hi, this is Zen, the Crypto Queen. Welcome from wherever you are and whatever time you are tuning in. I thought I would start by talking about where the cryptocurrency market is today, XRP in particular. Uh, you know, I, I hate to dwell just on one coin, but all of the X's, XRP, XDC, XLM, they're ISO 20022 coins, and it's going to be real important. I'm going to show you why in a couple of minutes. But I just wanted to show you this also. Look at what Doge did in a very short time. Up 11%, almost 12% in 24 hours. Interesting. Last time it shot through the roof. Elon Musk said something on Twitter. So let's see if Elon Musk gets on the XRP train along with Doge. I didn't check and see what he said today. We'll see. He just purchased it the other day, so we'll give him a little time. All right, now I wanted to move over here. Actually, here. Well, let me go here first. I don't know if you're subscribed to Lewis Jackson, but I thought this was funny why we're so excited about XRP and what to tell why your wife should be excited. And so I just want to play a couple of seconds of this and then I'll put the link down below. It's a good video.
Coming from, what the source is. So first of all, let's dig into what money is and how money works. Before 1970, the US dollar was the world reserve currency and it was backed by gold. What that means is every dollar was exactly correlated to a certain amount of gold. And when you talk about the whole world in that way, it's very easy to be able to keep track of the value in the world, and it specifically helps the world understand how much they're able to borrow. Because whoever holds the dollars will always know the value of the dollar because it's related to something physical in being gold. However, in 1970, the US dollar was removed from being backed by gold. This meant that the US dollar itself, as the currency, as the piece of paper, was backed by itself. You don't need to know the complications of that, but the ultimate effect of having a currency backed by itself results in the possibility for an entire world to have a financial collapse.
Isn't that interesting? And when I talk to certain types of people about crypto, they say, but what? It's not backed by anything. It's not backed by anything. And I think that's hysterical because neither is fiat currency in the United States.
You'll notice that right now we are in that financial collapse. And of course, there's lots of people who think this might have been a narrative pushed deliberately, a whole plan pushed in action since 1970 when the gold standard was lost. This, of course, was an inevitability, and an event like COVID and the lockdown that resulted in the economic downturn and the printing of money that resulted was very predictable, even all the way back then. So,
fairly predictable. And I don't believe in coincidences. And the great financial crash, GFC, back in 2008, what happened the following year? Bitcoin arrived, right? Satoshi Nakamoto, who is still sort of unidentified, came out with Bitcoin. Well, let's keep following along.
So here we are in the crash of an economy. That's a little historical background on everything that's been going on. And now we want to jump into a whole new sphere. Sorry for doing this, but it will paint the picture on how money operates. So if you're going into a shop and you're buying something, most people, the average Joe, believe that you just go into that shop and you buy something, right? You just tap your card or tap your phone and there it goes. The money's gone to that company. Or in another example, you might have a niece's birthday and you want to send them money. So you go on your banking app and you send them money, they receive it, and that's all good, right? But there is more to that system.
There's way more to that system. I think I've talked about SWIFT endlessly, about how I used to move money when I lived in Singapore. There's a lot going on in the background. Let's listen for a couple seconds.
Has massive inefficiencies. For example, if you want to send money to a friend in Spain, for example, and you're sending that money on a Saturday at 1 p.m. When you send that money, what has happened ultimately, the payment system actually operates on an hourly basis, right? The typical workday, Monday to Friday, 8 till 5. It might be slightly different than that, but ultimately that's the point. So any money that's transferred outside of those hours actually isn't moved to the other person's bank. But the other person received value, right? They got money in their bank account. How did that happen? Well, every bank holds a reserve amount of money to act as like an insurance mechanism so that whenever money is transferred outside of the hours of operation, the receiver's bank will just pay their client, their customer. and they will tell the original bank, your bank, you owe us this much because we handled that payment outside of the working hours. Monday rolls.
So much going on. You see how this works? So you can understand how SWIFT works in the background if you're moving it from one country to another, a different currency.
Around, they pay them back on that IOU. So the actual transfer of money is extremely inefficient. It can take 3 to 5 days to actually settle payments. That means settle the agreements, pay IOUs and all of that. And so you can see the built in there inefficiencies.
Highly inefficient, especially in 2022. How can that even be?
Of how this all works. So let's go now into cryptocurrency. And I want to first explain what blockchain is. Very simply put, we've all played a game of Monopoly. I want you to imagine every time you pass go, somebody writes down this person received $200 when they passed go, or this person had to pay rent to this person and this person because they landed on that square. Imagine if someone was writing on a piece of paper every single time a transaction occurred. Once that small piece of paper is filled, then you, in order to keep it in order, you would link them together, right? You would chain them together. Let's say you've got a little bit of string and you chain them together through some hole punched holes. At the end of the game.
Funny analogy, but okay. Let's listen to where he's going. I wanted to turn you on to what he said about XRP and his wife, but this is interesting stuff. So let's keep on going.
You could have someone who's very upset about the result of the game, right? And they go, hang on a second. I swear there was a fine for you to pay, but you never paid me, and I don't think you did it. So the person then goes, okay, let me look at these pieces of paper that are chained together, these little blocks of paper. Yes, in fact, you did. Here it is, right here, the exact time that you paid, how much you paid, and who you paid it to. And so what the blockchain is essentially what we call in this area called a ledger. A ledger records all transactions made. And so the block.
And don't forget, a ledger is also where you can keep your cryptocurrency. All my links are in the description box below. Thanks for the opportunity to mention that, Lewis. A ledger is also what he is referring to, which is your listed transactions on the blockchain.
Blockchain essentially just.
By the way, why isn't voting on the blockchain yet?
Organizes these blocks of transactions, chains them together into this big filed system, and all of a sudden you have a massive record.
Okay, I'm going to put the link to that down below because it is a really good video, but I wanted you to hear
videos I'll ever make on this channel because I know from firsthand it means, and like we know why we feel like that. But our spouses, in my case, my wife, they don't understand what's happening.
Hilarious. I just refer to this as, yes, other parties, significant other. Oh my God, if they don't know crypto and they haven't been following along, my gosh.
Happening, and so they can't get excited. They could also be people like my wife, who's very much a realist. And unless it's in the hand, it's not real. And so there's hurdles there to overcome. The point of this video is to...
Hurdles there to overcome. And yet, we spend US dollars that are backed by nothing. Oh, Lordy. Okay, anyway. All right, I don't know why Kanye is listed here. Let's see. Oh, maybe if I play
Maybe a
this.
long one.
Here we go.
So get yourself comfortable. Let's jump in. So before we get started on reading this article, I want to take a step back. Let's go back to 2018, where David Schwartz said the following tweet. If banks respond by building walled gardens, we'll position XRP to bridge across those walled gardens. If they want one big walled garden to take over, they'll have to be as open as we are. So, Ripple's recent philosophy with the whole private ledger is to allow these banks to use the private ledger and see the benefits, but at the same time, allow them to easily connect to the XRP ledger when necessary, almost at the flick of a switch, if you will. Now to a more recent tweet.
Okay, so what you've seen there is, let's go back here for a second. Lewis Jackson and this QFS1776.com site. You can get the big picture if you don't know anything about it. Listen, there are all of these videos so that you can figure out what the heck XRP is even about. I'm turning you on to this because I've spoken with Mel, who runs this this site. He also runs a thread on Telegram, which is very interesting. And I just want you to know that a lot of this information, XRP, Endgame, New World Reserve Currency, all that, BRICS in the US, Jassara, Nasara, all of this, they're super interesting. And if you want to get a good, quick, well, I shouldn't say quick because you'd have to watch pretty much a lot of this, okay? And how blockchain is changing money and the adaptation of digital money. This is so interesting, okay? So I really urge you to sign on to this. And I'm going to be working with Mel to get some interviews onto his YouTube channel. And maybe I'll get him on for an interview on my channel. And with that, I'm going to close it out for today. Just wanted to turn you on to those two sites. I will link them in the description below. All of my links are in the description box below. If you don't own a ledger and you still have crypto on a exchange, please order your ledger today and get that set up and get your crypto, for the most part, off of exchanges. Okay? Thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next video. Ciao for now.